Nathan's Famous is a chain of fast food restaurants specializing in hot dogs that started in 1916. Thank you for your suggestion.
One of the biggest attractions at Coney Island first appeared back in 1916. And from the very beginning, people got a kick out of them because the juicy beef goodness of Nathan's Franks was laced with secret spices that gave them a special snap. Today, nothing has changed. So for that authentic, old-time Coney Island taste, hello, my Coney Isle, original Coney Isle. Hello, my Nathan's Famous Franks.
Nathan's began as a nickel hot dog stand in Coney Island in 1916. With 3 amusement parks, beaches, arcades, sideshows, shooting galleries, restaurants, and saloons, the long narrow strip of land at Brooklyn's South End was a destination spot for visitors looking for fun. One of the many thousands who visited Coney Island in the summer of 1915 was Nathan Handwerker, a Polish immigrant who had worked in a restaurant in downtown Manhattan. While visiting, Handwerker saw a help wanted sign in one of Coney Island's most popular restaurants, a large beer garden called Feltman's Restaurant. Deciding to leave Manhattan and settle in Coney Island, Handwerker took a job at Feltman's. Handwerker's new job was to slice rolls for a kind of sandwich Feltman had invented. The sandwich consisted of boiled tubes of spiced meat on a roll, which was the hot dog, and Feltman sold them by the thousands for 10 cents each. 2 of Handwerker's co-workers were a pianist and a singing waiter who performed together, Jimmy Durant and Eddie Cantor. They suggested that Handwerker start his own hot dog stand and undercut Feltman by selling the sandwiches for a nickel each. In 1916, Handwerker and his wife Ida did just that. With the savings of $300, the Handwerkers bought an 8-foot by 25-foot space at the corner of Surf and Stillwell Avenues, 1 block from the beach. Nathan installed walk-up counters in the building and hung up big red signs that advertised his 5-cent hot dogs. Ida, meanwhile, developed a spicy recipe that used all beef and lots of garlic. The Handwerkers added roast beef sandwiches, hamburgers, and french fries to the menu, and Nathan's famous Frankfurter and soft drink stand was launched. Things didn't go exactly as planned, however. Rather than the newsstand's lower price drawing customers away from Feltman's, it instead made them suspicious about the quality of Nathan's food. Because his price was so much lower, many assumed that he must be using inferior meat. This problem was exacerbated by the already shaky public opinion of hot dogs in general. Handwerker, however, believed in the quality of his product, and he came up with an ingenious way to convince others of it. He hired people to dress up as doctors, complete with lab coats and stethoscopes, and stand in front of his restaurant eating hot dogs. Handwerker reasoned that the sight of medical professionals munching on Nathan's hot dogs would allay customers' health fears and give his restaurant the stamp of approval. To drive the point home, he posted a new sign reading, "If doctors eat our hot dogs, you know they're good." Another of Handwerker's innovative promotional tactics was to become deeply embedded in the Coney Island culture, the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest. The 12-minute contest to see who could eat the most hot dogs began the first year Nathan's opened, quickly becoming an annual favorite. It drew attention, headlines, and crowds of customers. In the early 1920s, the New York subway system was extended to reach Coney Island. Up until then, the resort area had been patronized primarily by visitors who had private transportation, that is, those of the middle and upper classes. The subway access, however, brought in a whole new set of customers, many of whom recently had immigrated and were extremely poor. Jumping at the new opportunity afforded them, these New Yorkers fled the miserably hot city in droves each weekend for a visit to the seaside. The Coney Island crowd swelled dramatically from approximately 500,000 visitors per day to more than 1 million per day. Because the subway ride to the resort costs only 5 cents, the island came to be called the Nickel Empire. Nathan's was perfectly positioned to profit from the influx of new visitors. It already had a good location at the corner of Surf and Stillwell, and became even better when the city built the Coney Island subway station directly across the street. Every weekend, thousands of visitors disembarked right in front of Nathan's counter. In addition, handworkers' lower-priced hot dogs proved to be very appealing to the new cost-conscious crowd. Business picked up rapidly, and soon there were 50 employees working in Nathan's stand. Hungry Coney Island visitors lined up at the 20-foot lunch counter until they were overflowed into the street, and Nathan sold an average of 75,000 hot dogs every summer weekend. In addition, the restaurant sold hundreds of gallons of root beer, Coca-Cola, and malted milkshakes. During the 1920s and 1930s, while Coney Island remained a thriving hotspot, Nathan's Famous became truly famous. Politicians, sports figures, and celebrities often were photographed eating handworkers' hot dogs during visits to the popular resort. Nathan's Famous hot dogs became closely associated with Coney Island and New York, a must-have for any visitor to the city. As his business grew, Handworker turned his original small lunch stand into a 30,000 square foot restaurant. Despite their success, the Handworkers did not attempt to expand their hot dog empire for 4 decades, preferring to feed the New York masses from their original Coney Island location. In the mid-1950s, however, Handworker's family convinced them to open another Nathan's hot dog stand on Long Island, which had become a popular residential spot after World War II. The expansion of the chain was overseen by Nathan Handworker's son, Murray Handworker. A second branch on Long Beach Road in Oceanside, New York opened in 1959, and another debuted in Yonkers, New York in 1965. Murray Handworker was named the president of Nathan's Famous in 1968, the year it went public. Once started, Nathan's continued expanding at a leisurely pace, focusing mainly on properties in Brooklyn and Queens. Under Murray's leadership, Nathan's began establishing restaurants in other states, including New Jersey and Connecticut. The company also grew through a series of franchise agreements in various states. By the late 1980s, Nathan's had approximately 40 restaurants. After almost 20 years of growth as a publicly held company, Nathan's Famous went private again in early 1987, when a New York investment firm, Equicore Group Limited, purchased all of the company's shares. By September of 2001, the company consisted of 24 company-owned units, 380 franchise or licensed units, and more than 1,400 stores in 50 states, Guam, the District of Columbia, and 17 foreign countries. Today, the original location is still there. In total, Nathan's products are marketed for sale in approximately 78,000 locations, including supermarkets, mass merchandisers, and club stores throughout the United States. Last year, over 700 million Nathan's Famous hot dogs were sold. The brand is owned by Smithfield, a subsidiary of WH Group. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.